Go.
Okay. Do you have a personal hero and why? Opening question. There's no audience here, but that's my opening question. We all have people in our lives that drive us to achieve our goals. For my friend James Miranda, that person was Andy Feliz, his high school friend. James attended grammar school at St. Anthony's Catholic School, where he first met Andy, altar serving. The two bonded and ended up becoming friends. They played on the same basketball team and even ended up going to the same high school, Salesian. However, James became depressed during his high school years and grew distant from his classmates. James was constantly bullied by both his students, who would cuss him out and throw down his books, and by his teachers, who didn't understand why he chose to skip so many days of school. Because of his depression, James ended up missing an entire month of school during his junior year and struggled with thoughts of suicide. Few things kept James happy during that time in his life. He spent his time indulging in hundreds of hours of video games and drinking in order to escape the hell of his reality. He also discovered the Yankees baseball team, who, by watching the trials and tribulations the team went through, taught him about perseverance and continuing to stay strong no matter what the odds, as well as learning to accept how to lose and grow from that. To this day, he religiously follows the Yankees. The last time James saw Andy, he looked his friend dead in the eyes and said nothing and walked her away. The next morning, the principal of the school announced that Andy had passed away, sending the entire school into shock. The loss didn't hit James at first, but after he got home from Andy's wake and laid on his bed, he started crying uncontrollably. He asked himself, why him? Why not me? Confused as to why God would take away his friend's life, who had such a bright future ahead of him, while James saw his life as going nowhere. So James decided it was time to turn his life around and live his life to the fullest for his friend that never got the chance to live his. He worked his ass off during senior year, got straight A's, wasn't bullied nearly as bad, and only took 4 days off of school. Ultimately, he was accepted into Pace University, where he decided he was going to be a sports journalist because of his love of the Yankees and to carry out Andy's memory. He joined the Pace Chronicle freshman year to begin making his dream a reality. He rigorously wrote story after story in order to perfect his craft. He even ended up becoming sports editor junior year and continued to take on story after story in order to be the best sports journalist he could be. He tackled all types of stories, including athletes breaking into buildings, football teams dressing up as Nazis, and football team players dressing up as Nazis. However, the corruption of Pace's sports administration, blocking big story after big story, and constantly undermining his position disheartened James to the point where his goal of becoming a sports journalist no longer seemed like a viable option. However, he still enjoyed writing. Feature stories on people and places, to be exact. James returned to the Chronicle as copy editor during his senior year and ended up breaking the biggest story of 2017, which was the controversy surrounding Pace's environmental center's animals being removed. He even managed to get a quote from a member of the legendary Rockefeller family. James dedicated his final piece of the Chronicle to Andy's memory. And if you guys want to read it, it's called A Senior Goodbye from the Copy Editor. So everyone would know what was driving him to write all these years. The piece was well received by his high school peers and college friends alike, getting thousands of views. Despite everything he went through, the only thing James regrets is not being able to say hi. Saying hi back the last time he saw Andy. He still visits his memorial at Salesian High School at least once a year. That's it.